Honey, can you take out the trash?
Sure, Mom, right after this game.
And while you're at it, can you put your dishes in the dishwasher, please?
Yeah, no problem.
And clean the toilet, and mow the lawn, and feed the dog, and sweep the kitchen, and.
Got so many tasks you don't know what to do about it? Well, let me show you what I've been doing to keep track of everything that I need to do. Alright, now keep in mind that this is not sponsored, and these are just kind of like my first impressions, alright? I've really barely scratched the surface of what's available. But so far, I've been really happy with my experience with Habitica. Now, on the Apple App Store, Habitica calls itself a gamified task manager. There's a web version, and I'm pretty sure there must be an Android version, but since I just used the one on my iPhone, that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Now, if you'd like to see a comparison in the future, leave a comment. Okay, so there's an app. What does it do? I would say there are two different aspects of Habitica. The task management, and then the RPG elements. And if I'm being real, as much as I thought gamification was the thing that I needed, I haven't played much. My character's actually only level 9 so far. I haven't even unlocked classes yet. I was able to convince a couple friends to join me, and we're all in a party, but we haven't actually fought any bosses or done any challenges or anything like that yet. I still really do want to see how that stuff works, but I'm hoping to maybe get some more friends on board first. So since I don't know too much about the game, I'd like to tell y'all more about the task management aspect of Habitica and kind of how to use it. Alright, so I'm going to open the app, and I haven't actually filled out anything today. I left it fresh so I could kind of show y'all how it works. Now, yesterday I did not wake up on time, so I have to start my day acknowledging that I didn't do that, and I'm going to probably take some health damage. Yeah, I took 2 health damage. But I got a check-in prize. So, one of the cool things about Habitica that I really like is that it's broken down into 3 main categories. Your habits, your dailies, and your to-dos. Your habits are things that you would do multiple times a day. They could be good or bad. So if you're trying to, start a new habit, or you're trying to quit a habit, you can use this tab. There are dailies, which are things that you would do either once a day, maybe once a week, certain days, even all the way up to, once every other year, or anything like that. And I'll show you all more about that in a bit. So to-dos are things you only need to do one time. You would do it, check it off, and it's gone. Your habits, you stay because you're, trying to keep track of them, and your dailies stay because you have to do them repeatedly. So let me give you some examples of each, starting with habits. Now, as I mentioned before, habits can be positive, negative, or both. So, if we click on this plus up here at the top, we can create a new habit. Each category, habit, daily, and to-do, have a title, notes, difficulty, and tags. They all have these. What makes them different is that with the habits, you have these controls, positive and negative. One thing that habits have that the dailies and to-dos don't are these reset counters. Now, the way these reset counters work are, let's say it's something you wanted to keep track of, how many times you do it each day. If you had it set to daily, let's say you did it 10 times, the next day it would reset to 0. Now, if you have something set to weekly, maybe that's something you want to keep track of how many times you do something in a week before it resets. And of course, monthly goes the same way. So for example, I have getting to sleep on time set to monthly. So here I have 15 days tracked already. Obviously, I'm in the negative for getting to sleep on time. Looking at my habits, let's just say if I did 10 push-ups, then I could click the plus and it would give me a streak of 1 for the day. If I did 10 more push-ups, I clicked the plus again, I would have a streak of 2 for the day. And then tomorrow, it would reset back to 0. Now, even though your numbers may reset, the color coding on the left-hand side of these pluses, you can see they're also color-coded in the dailies and in the to-dos, kind of tell you your progress without the numbers. So my track food one, I tend to do more than once a day, typically. Going to sleep on time, it could be either or. And then the individual workouts, I haven't actually done these in a while. I usually just do my regular workout, and then on my rest days I do my walk. But whenever I feel like doing something extra, I get to pay myself for it in the game. So if we wanted to create a habit for something we wanted to quit, we could just create the plus. Let's just say we're trying to quit smoking and we don't want to bum cigarettes. So we could put in here bum cig, put it as a negative. We can put it on the daily, and if you're just starting to quit, maybe it's pretty difficult, you can put it as a medium. And in this case, I would use a health tag. So, what do the difficulty and tags actually mean? The difficulty relates to how much XP and whatnot that you get paid out when you do it correctly, and I think how much damage you take if you're doing something perceived as negative. So in this case, if we would only have the negative control, and every time you clicked it, you would take some damage. And it would remind you, hey, you're not supposed to be doing this. It would keep track, it would tell you how much you're doing it, and you can just kind of track your progress to see, are you actually making progress, or is it something that you need to focus on more? So let's move on to dailies. Now, the way dailies work is you would create, a title and notes like you would have it, but you also have the option for checklist items. Now, checklist items can be a list with multiple items that you can check these off and it won't actually complete your daily. They're just used for keeping track of the steps to complete your daily. To-dos also have checklist options. Now, what makes dailies special is the scheduling. Dailies can repeat daily, like once every day. You could do once every other day. There's pretty much whatever option you need to make it fit your requirement. There's also weekly, and if you do choose weekly, then you can repeat, every other week, once a week, and you can pick the specific days. Monthly, you can repeat, once a month, every other month, but you have the option of choosing the day of the month, which would be, like the number. So, for example, if I need to pay bills on the 1st of the month, I can have it recur every month on the 1st. Or day of the week, which I think would be like, Sunday through Saturday kind of thing. And then there's yearly, where you could repeat once a year, maybe there's something you need to do every 3 years. So you create this, a couple years go by, you can have a reminder set to let you know, maybe a little in advance, that whatever you had scheduled those many years ago is coming up. Oh man. So to summarize, dailies are things you would do every day, maybe just certain days of the week, maybe every 3 days. They're things that you do often, but maybe just once a day. One of my examples is my workout routine, which I haven't done today because I was making sure to get this video recorded. I do Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then my rest days are Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So as you can tell, my workout is on here as blue. I'm supposed to do it today. My walk is grayed out. I do that on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Now on to to-dos. To-dos are tasks you only really need to do once. Now, if we take a look at these, you can still create checklist items, like with dailies, but you can set a due date. So if you want to get something done, you only need to do it once. You and create a to-do, set the due date, and then hopefully actually get it done by that due date. And in some cases, I do the task, then create the to-do to give myself credit for doing the task. So hopefully my explanation has helped a little bit. I feel like I had this more fleshed out before I started recording. But the main things you need to know are that habits can be positive, negative, or both, and you would do them multiple times a day, potentially. Dailies you do once a day, once a week, once a month. Certain days you have a lot of flexibility with dailies, but they are things that you repeat, but probably just once a day. And then you have to-dos, which can be time sensitive or not. It could just be a list of things you want to do, or they could include things that you need to do by a certain time. But once you mark them off, they're gone. So let me show you an example of actually marking off some of the dailies I've done today. Now, unfortunately, I didn't wake up on time, so I can't check that one off. It's green because I tend to miss that one. Now, brushing my teeth and keeping my bed made, I can mark off. And you find items and stuff and get XP when you do. Now, here's an example of using a checklist with a daily. I use this one to remember if I took my pill and did my phone. So normally I would, whenever I take my pill, I check this one. And then when I'm ready to do my phone, I do that, check it. And as you can tell, although I've done the steps, it still isn't considered complete until I check the other box. And I can even uncheck this box and still check it, and it would be complete. Now my snap streak with my buddy, haven't done that yet. I need to do that. And measurements,
It was at this moment he knew. He fucked up.
I was supposed to do that before I ate today. So let's take a look how it's set up. I have it at the bottom of my list because it's only on Sundays. But really this should be at the top of my list because I want to do it before I really do anything else. I have it set as a reminder right after I wake up. So, what I can do is drag this up to the top. So I know that after I wake up, maybe after I brush my teeth and make my bed, that I need to do my measurements, like before I eat and stuff. So hopefully moving this to the top will make it easier to see. So let me tell you a little bit about how I decide the difficulty of my tasks. So if we look at something like my workout routine, I was really struggling with this for a while. I was doing workout shorts and stuff to make sure I worked out because I was slacking, I didn't have any accountability. But once I got Habitica, I was able to replace needing to do workout videos with just keeping track on the app. And that let me do different kinds of dailies, like the making this video shorts I've been putting out. So I have this set to hard because it takes time, it is hard work, and I want to make sure that I do it so I've incentivized myself with a high difficulty. Now, if I had been working out for like a year and I knew I was going to do it, the app wasn't really the main motivation, I could lower the difficulty to maybe like medium because I know it is no longer as difficult for me. So as long as you're honest with yourself, with your difficulties, and also not just checking off things or giving yourself credit for habits that you didn't actually do, then you should be able to make some progress. Okay, so you've been doing your tasks, you've been earning XP, and you've been earning coins. What do you do with your coins? Now, on this fourth tab, this little treasure chest, these are the rewards. Now, there are a few seasonal rewards that alternate, like these cosmetic rewards, but you can also create your own rewards. So real quick, let me just do a recap of what I believe we've talked about so far. Habits, good and bad, or both, multiple times a day. Dailies, once a day, once every other day, certain days a week, whatever it is, you repeat it at certain times, usually once a day. To-dos, they can be time sensitive or not, but there's something you're probably just going to do once and it's off your list. And then we talked about XP being based on the difficulty. For example, doing 5 pull-ups is trivial. I don't get a lot of XP for doing only 5 pull-ups. But if I did 15 pull-ups, I can get a little bit of XP 3 times. And then there also are tags, which I briefly touched on, but they are essentially used to sort your tasks. So for example, you could have it set to a different time of day, like morning, afternoon, night. And so if you just wanted to look at your morning tasks, you could choose the morning tag. You could put multiple tags per task. But let me just show you, for example, if I do exercise, then I can see I have 4 exercise-related habits, 3, oh well, my video short actually should probably be switched to just creativity and not exercise anymore. So really just my workout routine and my rest day walk. And I don't have any to-dos because the things that I do exercise-wise, I do often. I'll put something like health, that probably would have to do with my appointments. Creativity, that might have to do with, just making the video, and then a couple other video ideas I had. Okay, so hopefully you have a decent idea of the task management aspect of Habitica. So what about the gaming aspect? Now, to be honest, I haven't spent a whole lot of time with the game part, but I can show you what I've seen and some cool stuff that I hope to eventually take advantage of. If you click on the button all the way on the right, this is like your main menu. So you can see things like your skills, which I'm not high enough level to have a class yet. I don't have any skills. I'm almost there. I don't have stats, but there are achievements. And then there are things that you could buy with the coins that you earn. So one example that it comes with by default is to reward yourself, watch TV, play a game, eat a treat, it's up to you. Costs 20 coins. So maybe you had to exercise several times, you had a trivial habit, so you're only getting like 1 coin per 5 push-ups or whatever. And then you could have maybe reward yourself with a treat for 5 coins. So every 25 push-ups you did, you could get a little snack. You could pay yourself with an hour of gaming or whatever. And personally, I haven't implemented a reward system yet. Right now, as long as I can do my habits, which I do for the most part, except for maybe the sleep and waking up related ones, then that's what's important to me for now. If I need more incentive in the future, I can create some rewards, or if I need to prevent myself from doing something without earning it first, then I will implement some rewards. Now, these quests I actually haven't looked at all. It looks like you choose quests to do battles with your party. There's a seasonal shop. As I mentioned before, things change seasonally, of course. This time traveler thing I think is really only if you pay for premium stuff. Now, customizing your avatar would just be like your character. You have a few options here. And then you have your equipment. You can put on things cosmetically, or you can put on things for the actual stats. So, for me, I only have so many items. I have them all equipped cosmetically and as my gear. Then, of course, you have your other items, like your eggs. Eggs can be grown, or can be hatched into pets using hatching potions. And then, if you feed your pet the food that it likes, it can eventually become a mount. Looks like I have some quests I didn't even know that I guess were given to me that I just haven't activated yet. Then, of course, you do have your pets and mounts. I think I only have a couple pets that I've hatched so far, and no mounts yet. And, of course, gym stuff, subscription stuff. I'm using the free version right now. seems to be enough for me. Like I said, I'm not using the gamification aspect as much as I thought I would, so I really don't need a subscription right now. There is a benefit, I believe, where your to-dos, when you've completed them, will be saved longer if you have a subscription, but I think I'll be alright. Now, social-wise, there's your party. So I have my constructive cult with me and a few friends. And then there are challenges. Now, these challenges seem kind of cool. I don't have any, but you can discover. And it seems like these are community-made, and even the gyms that they are rewarding may be provided by the community that developed the challenges. So those are pretty interesting, but I haven't looked into them too much. And then, of course, news support about all that. The news, there's often just, new stuff going on. Now, one other thing you can do if you're going like on vacation or something, you can go into your settings and you can pause damage. That could be a way to cheese things, so I wouldn't recommend doing it unless you actually were in a situation where you're not going to be able to do the things you would normally do, and therefore your guy would just take a bunch of damage and die. Yeah, it just makes sense. You can't always be doing your stuff, right? Like, what if you're taking a flight, there's a layover, takes you 2 days to get wherever you're going, you might not have access to the stuff you need. Sorry I don't know much about the gaming aspect, but if you would like to know more, leave that in the comments. I can try to investigate and actually play and participate in more of the gaming portion of Habitica. Now, let me tell you a little bit about my experience with Habitica so far. When there's something that I want to do, I will put it in here, usually as a to-do, so I don't forget. So it's just kind of like a little list, like anywhere I'm at, pull out my phone, put in a little reminder, try to follow up on it later, put a due date if I need it. For my dailies, they've really helped me keep on track with like my exercise and stuff, brushing my teeth, flossing, all that stuff. The main thing that I do still struggle with, despite having Habitica, is actually waking up on time and going to sleep on time. I've taken a lot of damage for just those two things, and I just can't seem to break the habit, and I think that's just kind of, maybe I'm holding myself to too high of a standard to try to get to sleep by 2:30. I like to use that time to play games and stuff when I'm off work. I don't anticipate anything else for the rest of the night. I can just play. But overall, I think it's been helping me. I know a couple of my friends who started, they might not have kept up with it yet. Hopefully they will. It's taken me a few weeks to only reach level 9. I'm not even level 10 yet. But that kind of goes with how many habits I create, how often I actually would keep up with my habits. The more dailies and to-dos that I would have would also help with leveling up sooner. But I think for me, like I said, it's less about actually the game portion. It's cool to link with my friends and be able to kind of see each other's progress. That the more that we do what we want to do for ourselves, that our characters level up. Which is why it's unfortunate to see when my friends have characters that haven't leveled up, maybe they're 1 XP away from leveling up, and it's just like, hey, I bet you're doing your habits, you should track them. But yeah, if you have any other questions about Habitica or how to use it, maybe I missed something, or one of my explanations was too confusing. I know I didn't exactly stick to my script, so I might have left some things out. Please leave a comment of your question. And with that, all I have to say is, good luck taming your tasks, and thanks for watching. See ya!